Warriors won the first meeting in D.C. in part because of the rebounding battle.
Rebounding. Can't give his team second chance opportunity. You see Sorber down low. Great with angles, can finish with both hands.
Jamil Telford leading score, double knocked away. Peavy stripped it. Peavy ahead. Thomas Sorber with a hello to Hinkle.
Yes, sir. Peavy, one of the best defenders in the Big East. And got a mismatch. Kind of subtle right there with a one-legged fadeaway. I love to see him put some pressure on the rim.
Sorber, tough catch, better finish.
Great hands right there. He's just so going to play majority of the game, averaging 35 minutes a game. So see what his conditioning is looking like.
Give it go. Sorber right to the rim again.
Beautiful pocket pass. Georgetown read us.
And Butler leads by 4, their largest of the afternoon. Slip pass, Sorber. Hard jump stop, and man, oh man, he can pirouette.
Beautiful move. Playing off 2 feet.
It's Georgetown's ball to start us off. Georgetown has gotten healthier. We will see Jaden Epps return to action for the Hoyas. He'll come off the bench as Sorber misses the game's first jump shot.
Making sure that they clean the glass, focusing on the things that they can control. Seton Hall is gonna attack their shots.
Thomas Sorber wide open underneath for Georgetown.
Ability.
Yeah.
And so to be able to play 100 games, starting your 100th game, that's incredible.
Starting 100 games, he's played now 151 at the collegiate level. Off the Sorber miss, Colton matched up with the frontrunner for Big East Freshman of the Year, Thomas Sorber, who's got it now, and Ari Arine has scored more points so far. But Sorber gets to the rack, and now both bigs have 4.
That is a very aggressive.
Sorber, up and under.
That is very talented, very skillful move right there.
The jump stop. Sorber's got it one-on-one with Ari Arine. The ball knocked free, and Sorber misses the baseline J. That finish, and the steal by Curtis Williams Jr. An extra possession for the Hoyas. Sorber, what rocks?
Well, that escalated playing after we had lost.
Sorry for the strays, Jarrell. 2 seconds to go in the half. Sorber just throws it at the glass.
Game reps.
That's a steal for Caleb Williams. And Epps, the paint touch. He missed the layup. Sorber tries to clean it up. Cannot. Charges on Walden. And the rebound controlled by Sorber. And it's prodded away by Toomey. Died the state, finished his high school career at La Lumiere in Indiana. And Sorber, just too long, jams it home.
I mean, if somebody's a little bit more athletic.
He's put together an all Big East caliber year for the grad transfer from TCU.
What you like when you see someone make the most of their opportunities.
Sure.
You know, this is his 1 year, one and only year, and you can tell. That's how.
Which are in position to get that final bye in the Big East standings. Top 5 teams get their 4-way tie right now.
Yeah, Georgetown continues to build a team that over the last 3 years only won 4 Big East games. They've got to continue to try to get it to Sorber on the move.
And behind the back pass, almost went to the backcourt. Sorber turnarounds. He's got 10 already.
And as I said earlier, folks, he can make that 15.
6 minutes, excuse me. Over the last 4 minutes, Georgetown has not scored. 2-second differential game and shot clock. Sorber off on the 3. One last chance for Xavier.
They've got to get number 2 game.
And another third scoring option. Jaden Epps not available tonight for Georgetown. And Sorber starts the second half with a bang.
He started out the
Sorber can't get there. Conway. Don't try him, Drew Fielder.
Yes.
Well, biggest run.
Nice pass.
That they've had in Sorber with a dunk, and Ed Cooley takes a timeout.
Just don't have the right words. He's an incredible player, but he was an even more extraordinary guy.
Sorber misses the deep 2.
And folks, that's the
again. Help showed by Fremantle.
Sorber hasn't had a touch in a while.
Now he does. It's a good one.
That middle ball screen action for Georgetown has been so fruitful.
Nice.
Interesting, at practice yesterday and shoot-arounds today, Noah, they wanted to pump the ball inside. Georgetown pumped the ball inside to Sorber.
They get it in way of Jaden Epps. Malik Mack, the Harvard transfer, bounces inside. This is Sorber who goes off the glass, and it is an emphasis, coach, to get him a lot of touches early.
Keep an eye on Brooks. Noah, last year, Butler beat Georgetown twice. Brooks had 29 points in both games.
Sorber all the way to the basket, and he glides in for 2 more. Already 6 early.
That shot, impossible to take. That was a very comfortable ball screen jumper.
Offensive rebound to the putback for Sorber. Butler has no answer for him right now. He leaps for the rebounds.
Screen's having a wonderful year off the bench. You made a great point earlier today about him playing against second-team players, or the second rotation guys. Both teams have gone relatively small. 4 guards perimeter, and each team has 1 big man on the floor. It's a different style than you know.
11 behind the three-point line now is Butler. They can't buy one from outside. This is what Georgetown wants. Touches inside for Sorber, but he can't finish. That was a great contest from Kapke.
No question about that.
Mulready bounces into Sorber. Faces up, falls away over screen and connects. He's got 10.
Nobody came at him. That was a one-on.
Fielder thought about the 3. 6 to shoot. Pick and roll. Sorber. No, what a follow though by Micah Peavy. Whoa. 4.7 before halftime. They do throw it over the top. This is Sorber. Step back, screen in his face, spins out on the 3, but the putback is no whistle. Georgetown with a chance on this first trip of the second half to take the lead. That's Sorber who goes right through, screen for the bucket. Mack bounces. Here's Sorber going up against screen. That's a fun big man matchup, and Sorber gets the better of screen.
I was stunned at how much zone both teams practiced.
Why?
Because I had seen them on tape as being man-to-man teams.
That's Sorber with the bucket for Georgetown. And Caleb Williams comes away with it for the Hoyas. Peavy looking to push, darts into the paint, leaves it for Sorber, hangs and banks it in. 8-0 run for Georgetown and the Hoyas.
Zone all season, as we saw against Georgetown our last matchup, so I feel that they're prepared for it, and that start tells me I'm right.
Thomas Sorber, one of the best freshmen in college basketball, long on his first attempt, and it was
averaging almost 26 a game. Remember the game winner against Nova 2 games ago? He had 6 threes in that game. He's going to need more of that today.
Sorber short, Ejiofor with the board. And here comes Kadar
to the basket.
Now Caleb Williams with 5. Sorber with the timer down to 2. Thomas Sorber, and that's another stop, but an offensive rebound. Malik Mack, 3 for 18 the last 2 games entering tonight. Shot clock down to 8 again. Sorber heaves. He's long. Offensive rebound for Peavy.
Great, but it's easy to play hard.
3 on the shot clock here for Sorber. Sorber has to heave up a prayer and another stop.
Yeah, the half-court sets St. John's.
Matt got his man in the air. Wow. That was altered. Sorber on the cleanup.
You know, the other thing for Georgetown, too, is they're going to need help.
Be a positive sign. Ed Cooley said, we got to get number 2 in white going tonight. Sorber, and just met by Prey and Iwuchukwu.
Well, someone's got to be open. There's a double team on Sorber. Wow. Now, this is how you start if you're Georgetown when you come out of that locker room. And it has to be a steady diet of Thomas Sorber down in the post, but playing together and use that on the defensive end to create easy baskets on this end of the floor.
That's a little bit more resembling of a Georgetown.
Fun kid to watch. He is filling up the stat sheet night to night.
Yeah, he plays both ends of the floor as well. This is the next part of his game that scouts have been talking about. You see the, not just the make, but the confidence to shoot.
Peavy feeding the wing, and Epps looked a lot better on Monday. Fielder feeding Sorber, and the mid-range game is there as well. One of the top freshmen in the country. Malik Mack will back it up. Peavy, shovel pass. Sorber going to work down low, met with resistance from Asandako.
Second call there, he pivoted 3 times, which that's basically the count for the officials without them having to count.
Sorber wants another triple. He's got it! How about the freshman? 8 points, now 5 boards. To go along with a couple of blocks for the freshman big man. Elbow jumper, rattles home, he can't miss! Timeout!
Pierre has been thrust into that leadership role since the wait for Bryce Hopkins continues, and he's done a pretty good job.
Wow. Another rim rocker, this time with Sorber.
Surprised Williams didn't shoot that. That's his specialty.
Curtis Williams off the bench for the Hoyas. Lob pass. Sorber had to gather. That's a tough catch, and he managed to settle.
I just have to point out,
comes in, spot start, and was aggressive from the get-go their last game. There's a smooth stroke. Here's Sorber again from deep, way off this time. And in the attempt to save it.
Zone around that lower block area. Can't shove him that far away from the basket.
Flyers still have a couple of fouls to give. Sorber goes over top of Arunse.
With the left. I mean, both of them are even keel. Make a big play. It's the same kind of mannerisms as if something goes sideways.
Sorber going up with the left. What did you say?
Georgetown's got to get on the glass. They're -7 right now to Providence, and they've out-rebounded 14 of their 19 opponents.
And that's a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they have size. Peavy and
creeping to the low post. They'll back it out. Mack, little isolation. Bounce pass. Sorber, no. Punched up in the air, pulled down by Williams.
Everyone think that, but not out here. Not in a game like this. He'll take it.
Not on a Saturday. Bank's not open. Sorber rejected. Asandako is there. 3 to shoot. Williams priors. See how many touches Sorber gets here. Going up against the Arunse. Goes up with the left to score. That kid is special.
That's how you come in and give your team a lift.
Showing some depth this afternoon. There's Arunse meeting Peavy. Sorber and one.
Got to be clean in your screens, especially late game, as we see a tic-tac one there.
Sorber through the double.
That's
top shot. They didn't call the. Mack knew it was short. Sorber the offensive rebound. Sorber goes back up. Couldn't get it to go. Floyd pulls it down.
Wasn't the case Friday night, was it?
Took a while for Villanova to find their first points. Sorber twisting and turning against Enoch Boachi.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that call, with the twist, the turns, and
the mid-range jumper.
Yeah, he recognized that quick advantage that he had against Mack.
Here's Sorber. High post, unable to hit. Rebound tracked down by Caleb Williams. Trying to steer this program up the standings. Boy, out of the timeout, they left Sorber unmarked. He's not a great three-point shooter, so we're back into action, but a huge swing personnel-wise in this game as Sorber goes to work with a reverse on Chris Parker.
Yeah, nice clearance just then to get himself.
Here's Epps. See how that ankle feels. A lob to Sorber underneath, contested and rejected.
Yeah, he never got the balance underneath. Ball was just a touch.
Of all the things Eric Dixon's been asked to do this year, he's going to be asked to pass the ball quite a bit tonight. Epps couldn't get the roll, tapped up. Sorber underneath somehow comes away with it.
But so too. Not a bad move, though. You have to try to sell one against Dixon with his size and strength and the way he likes to power.
Sorber tiptoeing in the low post. Brickus. It's the under 4 timeout.
Good screen up front.
Mack out of control. Dumped it off inside, though, and Sorber missed everything.
Yeah, I think after that body bumper.
Survived the 2 early fouls, even getting some playing time at the end of the first half. Let's see if Georgetown can get Sorber going here.
Nice little set to get.
Jaden Epps has answered the question whether he's healthy. Sorber dealing with Dixon. And finally, it seems like they have solved the riddle of Sorber.
Overall, he wasn't slowed by those injuries.
It's remarkable to hear this was his first full offseason healthy Longino. Offensive rebound, and they're going to call a foul.
And Mr. Dixon lining one up again from long range.
24 now for Dixon. Sorber and it roll away. Dixon pulls it off the rim.
Yeah, Sorber's had some good on the corner. Nice look.
Yeah, wide open Mack. They left him alone in the corner. Sorber the rebound, and he couldn't get the putback.
And he takes him down.
Yeah.
Frustration.
Keeping this crowd out of the building. They are waiting to erupt.
Mack looking for Sorber. Thomas Sorber and one.
What a tough pass, tough catch, and I know a crowd didn't like that, at least a couple behind us, but when you get pushed, they can call the foul on you on St. John's, or they let it play.
Sorber gets it to go. It's a 15-1 run.
A quick catch and finish.
Mack inbounds to Sorber. Thomas Sorber heaves, and that'll do it for the first half. Williams at 7. Delivers to Sorber. Thomas Sorber can't hit. Scott Corral.
It just was sped up a little bit. He knew that the DV, one of the special talents at both ends in the entire country. Look at that.
Nice work inside. Beautiful find. And Thomas Sorber.
Back line, but they have the talent and the athletes to be able to get stops.
Loose ball. How about that? You know that he knows where to go with it. Sorber has off
foul line.
Good point.
Yeah, I think he's got to knock down a couple and he'll be fine.
Yep.
Hit the rest of his game, there's no issue.
Sorber stepping out this time. The hour brings it down a little. Sorber trying to work pick and roll. Look at him gather that pass.
What a tough pass.
What a magnificent move to get around Samson Johnson. Hang on.
Oh, but as a team, their communication is awesome. They know where each guy's going to be. Look at this. They run and jump. Caravan sees Sorber going to the basket. I mean.
Yeah, and Stewart's going to get called for the reach.
Yeah. Basket, Timmy. Especially if you're Epps, he's got to know that.
Yeah. There you go. Good cut by Sorber. But he goes reversal and misses it. He'd love to have that one over.
Yeah, how about the help from...
Gotcha. Boy, look at that defensive work by Reed. There's Sorber going out. And Tony Chiazza does spot a foul as he was on the floor.
I agree. He's such a willing passer.
There he is.
And obviously a talented scorer.
Quickly doubled.
Pass it. There you go.
And he knows where to go with it. And there you see what can happen. He may not... Williams in traffic. Finds Sorber this time. And Reed. That's just excellent post defense there.
Sorber passing out of the double, probing dribble. Peavy rise and miss. Rattles off iron. Sorber a dribble, and that was angled and deflected, but maintained by the Hoyas. Oh, Peavy!
This year, and they're bottom 30 in the country in playing against the zone. Haven't played against it a lot, but they're not a good zone offensive team.
Oh, there's Sorber and one. You called it. What a cut! What a pass!
Yeah, I mean they don't do.
Ilo lob a little deep, but the tip, they keep it. Put back, not there for Burks, and Sorber cleans it up.
I mean, that was with his left hand.
Loose ball to Mack, Peavy on the run. It's a 1-on-2. Lee for Sorber. Had the rebound. Save.
And now the zone, which makes it a little bit harder. But Sorber with a nice cut there and a good pass for what it finished left-handed.
I mean, that game between Mack and Sorber is beautiful.
The last two games can't do that against these guys and take tough twos, not threes. Xavier, one of the best in the country, the best of the Big East. But there's that big guy who looks like he's one of the best freshmen in the country. Diligently and hard to identify players and really put together a quality roster. And then you have that happen. Oh, tough miss by the big fella. Would have brought the house down with the one-handed hammer over the last 3 games with Fremantle being out.
Sean Miller said they're playing better than they anticipated he would, and that's been a pleasant surprise for them. Sorber spinning. Beautiful touch from the freshman.
3 words, my goodness.
So we're really going to dictate the flow of this season.
Playing against such an experienced team, a great coach is Sean Miller. This is the game where you can say, hey, we have turned the corner, and it looks like we belong where we used to be. The SEC is on fire.
Fielder keeps it alive for the Hoyas. Sorber down low, 1-2 step. He's off target. Chases down his own miss, ripped away by Conwell. Xavier has made this a one-possession game. Georgetown won for their last 10. Sorber, excellent real estate, down low, catch and finish.
A great pass by freshman. You don't see freshmen make passes.
Honor, one of the longtime great St. John's coaches coming into this game here.
Melly says getting hot in here.
Sorber misses the three, back the other way, and yes.
Burks, the dish to Sorber. Sorber, the catch, can't complete it. Fremantle fights for the board.
Most times.
You mentioned on the road, Xavier just 3-12 on the road in the Big East in the last couple of seasons. Here's Sorber from up top. His three no good. And Williams, another offensive rebound.
Run your offense, don't panic.
Mack off the screen. Sorber spinning. Sorber goes up with the left, short hands it. Rebound. Xavier, McKnight.
Going to look back at that technical foul.
Yeah.
That's a 4-point swing. Going to continue to play through it.
Sorber tripped up, finds the angle.
He just gets too deep.
Mack with 23 points has exploded in the second half. Sorber, the freshman, diving towards the cup, gets the lay-in.
Great action.
I don't know if I want to say he's a surprise because he came in as one of the top 50 recruits in the country, but certainly maybe slightly better than expected as you see him battling down low, trying to get his own.
Good momentum heading into Big East play.
Here's Sorber inside with the left hand again, and he's fouled.
He's just a beast, catching it in the hop in due time.
Sorber trying to split the double team, heaves off the mark, but Fielder there to clean up the.
A lot of run and jump passes, which could lead to turnovers. So they must make an adjustment, keep 2 feet on the ground and make a solid pass like Mack did right there.
That was beautiful from Malik Mack to Thomas Sorber. Mack. Into Sorber, and he is surrounded by blue jerseys, but the young fella does a nice.
Small lapse on defense right there, and Ellaby was able to capitalize, get the left-hand drive finish.
Working it inside to Sorber again. He's just so fundamentally sound.
Getting his team a possession.
He's just so sticky on the defensive end. Offensively improved well. You can see the rebound from Sorber underneath the basket. And that's another 2. Tom's 3 of 4 beyond the arc. Here's Peavy going to work in the lane. Sorber gets a hand on it. And his Fielder poking it back out. Has to get it down. Finally comes up with the loose ball.
The Hoyas coming out with the right defensive intensity, the toughness that it's going to take. Let's see if they can build on their lead.
And there's Sorber again, using the left hand. In terms of defensive efficiency, one of the top 50 teams in the country. Here's Sorber, strong, fouled, and he will go to the line, the doozy. How good are the Hoyas going to be once they get into Big East play, right? They've had 2 games so far. They've already matched last season's win total. And Sorber gets a big finish down low.
Sending it through, big fella.
Sorber. So this is what the NBA guys want to see, right? For a bit hard to project what people are going to be, right? Like, that's the amazing thing is, you know, people are trying to project you guys when you're 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids. And one of the things that Ed Cooley liked.
It's meeting 121 between these two teams. The series is even at 60.
And the 7th one between these two coaches tied at 3-3.
Sorber, they go right to him.
Get something in the post to see where the switches are going to be.
Hoyas ran flex 6 times against Creighton. They converted on 4 of them. Make it 1 for 1 here.
And that's why they run it. A lot of times that old flex was so you get a jump shot.
A lot.
Yeah.
But the only way you keep growing is if you sustain excellence. Sorber backing his way in.
Oh.
Thomas Sorber is big time.
Man, oh man.
A couple early buckets for the Hoyas. They've been balanced. Sorber has started strong. He's long this time, but we're going to have a foul on Scotty Middleton going for the rebound, and that Hoyas. This is Peavy. Sorber, elbow. Off the heel and tipped into the hands of Felton. Sorber. Sorber doubled, can't connect. Adewusu to the deck. Somehow
but he created an opportunity for Isaiah Coleman.
Just the second paint bucket of the game for Seton Hall. Now Sorber answers.
And that's why the scouts like him, because he can face you up.
You had St. John's winning at the buzzer at Providence Friday night. Nice entry to Sorber. Thomas Sorber has 11.
I mean, he just... and he's not only...
In big possession here for the Hoyas. Sorber with a kick. Off the fake, Williams back to Sorber. Thomas Sorber with a silencer.
How about that? Really nice job with Zunder. And that just gives you so much energy to do the job down here as well.
Sorber responds when they have needed someone to punch back. It's been Sorber.
Continuing to elevate.
Peavy to Sorber. Thomas Sorber with another silencer. He's got 17.
How about that? Instead of going same.
Now it's trimmed to 10. Here's Peavy. Down to Sorber. Tommy boy.
Wow, I thought he was going to lay it up with the reverse. He dunked that.
And one thing we're going to see, Tom, is Creighton plays 99.5% man-to-man. The Hoyas will play a little bit of zone. That's a great move down low, Roy.
I like it. He attacked the middle, drive to the basket, slither, get there, inside-outside threat.
And, you know, he's not afraid. I mean, he had 16 against Alabama the other night, too. So in the big games, look at this kid. That's a big boost. That's one.
Yeah, just somebody to mix it up. Just not have a steady diet of one player. A bigger guard can really force him to make tougher shots.
Sorber for three, too strong. Williams with the rebound, though. There's the offense, the transfer from Louisville. Sorber down low, working against Kalkbrenner. Has it blocked away by Kalkbrenner. Gets it back. Caught underneath, kicks it out.
I will say this, Roy. There's no fear in that kid.
No, he takes the three, and he tried to bank it home, no good. And a rebound is pulled down by Trout.
Has defensively to be able to be in position and never foul.
Sorber goes into the paint, left side, off the glass, it's good.
Let me tell you something.
Might have been a goaltend, but at the same
was.
time, this group has to be able to close the gap, or at least keep the gap until the starters get back in.
Epps to Sorber, who jams it home. Yeah, offensively, they've got to find points, but defensively, they can't let down for the Blue Jays. They're up by 2. 2:25 to play in the first half. Epps gets some separation. Sorber jump shot, no good, too strong, and a foul called underneath on McAndrew.
The result of that was a transition dunk. That type of thing can really tip the scales of a game. Kalkbrenner may be able to get going now.
Sorber tries a tough shot, blocked away by Kalkbrenner. Fielder with the rebound. Putback is good.
And pick people apart. And that's what Sorber does really well, and Kalkbrenner. They turn and face as opposed to back to the basket, which primarily is what I did.
And Sorber has it blocked away. That was Neal.
Somebody on the court to have some sort of emotion for Creighton to, like, say, let's get going. So a rah-rah guy. I'm not sure if Ashworth or Kalkbrenner is that guy, but somebody needs to change their fortune.
That ball is tipped.
Get Burke.
Heading toward the 10-minute mark here in the second half. It's a 59-41 lead for Georgetown. Sorber, jumper, no good. He's been cool shooting the basketball in the second half. Birch to Peavy. Down low to Sorber. He hasn't been getting going offensively in this second half. Throws it up off the glass. No good, but the putback is there by Burks.
You know,
line in the second half. That's very un-Creighton-like. Peavy to Sorber. Sorber, size advantage. Blocked away by King. And saved on the baseline.
So Malik Mack take a lot of tough shots. And so that percentage is going to naturally be down. And in the case of Syracuse, you've got some guys who have transferred up. You've got
this is here. Raheem McLeod's on the floor. Only the third time this year he's played for Syracuse. Inside to Sorber, a rim rocker for the Hoyas.
just bad. And that's not a good shot. That's a tough shot from Elijah Moore. Contested in the mid-range.
Two defenders went for the ball. Sorber with the uncontested.
And one of those is offensive rebounding.
Yeah, he's taken a few off the boards now for the Orange. Clapping his hands in the face of Sorber, and the freshman faces him up.
And then clapped his hands right. We talk enough about that adjustment to the Power 5 level. Jaquan Carlos starting to come on. Taylor still figuring it out.
Sorber over Davis. Oh, Freeman just couldn't grab it.
Both those guys together makes this Syracuse team really versatile, this lineup.
Oh! Inside, Sorber is fouled and finishes. Boy, Thomas. So Riddle get his 7'4" senior out there. And Sorber catches it and misses badly on a three. Well, this feels appropriate for the Hoyas. Ball screen with Sorber. Into the body of Freeman. And Sorber sticks it home.
High-level play by Sorber. And he caught it in the pocket.
Boeheim said, with, I'm sure, that classic Jim Boeheim wry smile on his face. Talking to Red Autry about Dikembe. Sorber's miss tapped in and out by here in the goal in the last couple of tries. Matt. Sorber facing Lampkin. And Peavy weaseled his way into the paint. You see Dan Eggleston off the Syracuse bench, the assistant screaming, trying to push his team back as Sorber misses an open look. A problem for the new year, but for now they're getting a little more out of Carlos, who's put Syracuse back in front. Sorber rejected by Davis, right back to Mack. Rolled into Sorber. Can they get him going down the stretch? Gets it back from Epps. Into Sorber. Good catch, good patience. His second basket of the half.
And another real shot clock.
Snaps a scoring drought of about 3 minutes. Sorber. Catch and finish. Back-to-back buckets. The lead back to 2.
Free throw.
Those are the first free throws Georgetown had taken in 19 minutes of game time. Sorber, 3 for the lead. Rebounded by Peavy. Shot clock does not.
Time meeting between these two teams. We are expecting a good one tonight in Morgantown. Sorber's first shot is too strong. Offensive rebound for Drew. Georgetown's done a decent job keeping the crowd at bay to this point. It's a place that can get going quickly, though. Sorber misses the mid-range jumper. They have got good look into Sorber and couldn't. Peavy, nice bounce pass to Sorber, who soars at the rim. A lot of time. The rest of the team just 4 for 17. Max layup no good. Sorber another offensive rebound and a putback. They have 11 second chance points on just 5 offense. But they've got beat multiple times that way. 13 for Small. Now back to Sorber. Does he have the answer? The double comes. No. Small rebounds. Small fired up on the sideline. Sorber. Mack penetrating for Sorber, and you see the athleticism on the finish. Georgetown trying to crawl their way back into this one. Down just 7. Out to Sorber, extending his range. No. Rebound West Virginia. I think that now one of the leaders of this Georgetown team. Into Sorber. Quick layup misses. Nine-point lead for West Virginia. Mack kicks it out for Sorber. Need it.
Big.
Got it. And that's a danger.
It was a conscious decision by head coach Ed Cooley to go young. They wanted to get bigger. They wanted to get stronger. And off the mark is one of those freshmen, Thomas Sorber, who has been so good. They're shooting 75% from the field here early in the first half. Sorber down low, spin move, and the freshman gets the deuce.
The young freshman, Thomas Sorber, just doing what he does.
Peavy back inside to Sorber, and Sorber just using the body. He is big. Put on about 20.
On the catch, meet you at the top so there isn't a foul. Just phenomenal defense by the freshman.
Again, inside to Sorber, just making it look easy. They're going to feed him all day. The retrievers like to get up, and he'd like to see him maybe communicate a little better, as all good point guards do, but he's still learning. And there's Sorber. Great spin move in the lane using his left hand.
BC they're just struggling to find any good offense.
Yeah, you see Ed Cooley said in practice as they work it inside to Sorber. In between two defenders, takes his time.
Continue to execute. You have to learn how to win and play with the lead.
Sorber fighting for the loose ball and getting another bucket. Sorber now with 20.
Wayne Killing was talking about the fact that as the team that they are and the situation they are, as Sorber finds his way inside, Albany's going to try to take the fight right at George.
Running started on this end with UAlbany's aggression on the defensive end.
That is just pure power along the inside for Thomas Sorber. 3 balls. He wants them to have the confidence to take it, but he wants it to be a good shot.
You can't tell them not to take it because they get hesitant.
Sorber doesn't hesitate. This is a good defensive possession for the Great Danes. So now you're going to go one-on-one. Sorber squaring up, had a good look at it. The rebound tapped into the hands of stripped to the basketball. Georgetown a chance to expand this lead. He's going to try a 3, and Sorber got it. Thomas Sorber, just his 3rd made 3-point. Came wide open in the left corner, and nobody got a body on Sorber. Rather play your offensive sets in the half court. Or do that.
Nice back screen from Jaden Epps. Speaking of youth, they got 3 freshmen on the floor right now.
Sorber hit a 3 earlier, that one too strong. Adnan comes down with the rebound. Boy is playing out the last 5 minutes. 8 for 19 from three-point land tonight. They didn't have to shoot 3-pointers because that was available all night. Sorber couldn't hit it.
Best in the Big East, about 16 offensive rebounds a game. Sorber through the double. No. And Churchill bound to the rebound.
Weren't able to quite convert.
Here's Mack navigating. Sorber all alone. Oh my goodness, another Baker.
I tell you what,
and Mack the rebound.
Look for the Hoyas, look for Jaden Epps to become a little more active as you see him dumping it down low to the big fella. That's the one matchup, Sorber, if he can get it good.
Tajay Kelton, 2nd year at Wagner. Duco ball at Monroe College. Mack, no, Sorber hangs on the rim, shakes the backboard.
And got a victory. So, they have an awful lot to build on. The Northeast East Conference is going to be put on notes, I think, when they start. As you see a little bit of the versatility of Sorber.
Ed Cooley?
Yeah, I just think it's a good move. This one's definitely in the bag. You don't want anybody to twist an ankle or pull a groin or anything.
Sorber nearly hit from the outside.
Mind working the shot clock down.
Sorber first touch in about a couple of minutes. Short hook. Gotta love when you see big guys now give that little short hook, the baby hook. Sorber battling down low with Pineda. They get it to him. Face out, fade away, in and out. Georgetown gets on the attack first. Peavy had fabulous start early in the game. Sorber, early touch for him right out of the locker room.
First possession, not surprised at all. Again, they ran the first play of the second half with a big fella. Second play, back to the big fella.
He's pretty good.
If it's not broken, why fix it? Thomas Sorber's the one.
9-game losing streak, but again, they're playing their best ball of the season right now.
Telford try to take advantage of the mismatch. Kind of subtle right there with a one-legged fadeaway. It's also already this game finishing on with the right and with the left.
Bowden Capkey. That happened a lot for Butler.
Butler's going to have that shot all night. Whenever he's able to turn the corner.
Hard hedge. Telford doubled. Up top, McCaffrey. And a confident stroke for Patrick McCaffrey. 11 for his last 7.
5 this year. So even though the Hoyas struggled a little bit in January, this is a program that has taken a huge step in year 2 under Coach Cooley.
And he's nowhere near finished. You know, talking to him, you know, his
athlete, not a great athlete. That was a great athletic play.
You take that.
Felton misses the rainbow 3, and there's Sorber who saves it falling out of bounds. Seton Hall gets back.
Ball delivered to you. He recognized the double team and found his man.
Some aggressive defense for Georgetown on this possession. Leads to a bad shot and a transition look for Peavy.
Game reps.
That's a steal for Caleb Williams. And Epps, the paint touch, he missed the layup. Sorber tries to clean it up, cannot. TCU, he's from Texas. Had a reputation as an elite defensive player, but has really turned it on offensively in his one and only season with Georgetown, averaging 15 a game. He's got Epps charges on Walden. And the rebound controlled by Sorber, and it's prodded away. Curtis Williams picks up Isaiah Coleman. Too strong. Sorber the rebound. Peavy spins from Dual.
No, the rules is you need clear possession. I mean, it seemed like a loose ball to me.
Dual, that was his second free throw. He hit the first. Micah Peavy.
Which a lot can happen if you make it to that in that Big East tournament.
You know about that.
Oh, I know all about that.
Shot clock. That leads the country among freshmen. Sorber trying to tip that one in. Williams didn't need to shoot that, but it sets
Mack right with them. Hunter can hit out there. And Swain followed it up. Oh, what an athletic play to get up there.
I thought he was going to dunk that one. 5 minutes.
Foster broke open. McKnight took it himself, and Sorber pulls in the rebound.
Yeah, that possession looked doomed from the beginning.
It's down to 7 to shoot. Conwell, no space there. Attacks Sorber. Conwell blocked by Sorber, who saves it. Maddox stays in the play. Who's it off of? It is off of Xavier.
Lane against Williams, has to spit it out. Brooks, hand in his face on the 3, spins out, and it's rebounded by Sorber, his first of the night for the Big East leading rebounder.
That shot impossible to take. That was a very comfortable ball screen jumper.
Offensive rebound and the putback for Sorber. Butler has no answer for him right now. Finley Bizjack, who had such a hot start early on, had 8 quick points. This is McCaffrey driving to the basket. A lot of contact, no whistle. Georgetown with a chance on.
Burn it.
Right. Telfort, quiet game for Butler's leading scorer. Can't bank it in here, and Sorber skies for the rebound. Has cut this down to 2 possessions with Finley Bizjack at the free throw line. He splits the pair. It's a 6-point game.
Butler looking. Caleb Williams with 5. Sorber with the timer down to 2. Thomas Sorber, and that's another stop, but an offensive rebound. Malik Mack.
Boy, he is the last.
We're going to win the Big East. Lewis, long. But Donnie, you know it. Having been a part of a great program, that's the drive. If you're going to win your league.
Almost like they know where the Hoyas are going before the Hoyas know. Now this is where it has to start for Georgetown. You got to get a stop now. You got to run. You got to go.
And they do. PV kicks. Epps does get a look. Sorber with an offensive rebound. Micah PV.
Boy, there's a
Matt got his man in the air. Wow. That was altered. Sorber on the cleanup.
You know, the other thing for Georgetown, too, is they're going to need help from...
Ed Cooley said, we got to get number 2 in white going tonight. Sorber
And just met by Prey and Iwuchukwu.
Well, someone's got to be open. There's a double team on Sorber.
Shot clock's at 4.
Down. Sorber can't guard both those 6'10", 6'11" guys down low.
Offensive rebound for the Hoyas, and Caleb Williams is fouled. An entry to Lewis. He can't hit. Sorber with the rebound.
Got to go if you're the Hoyas.
Max trying to. Richmond on the drive, deflected. Lewis with 3 spins, hangs, can't hit. Sorber fighting for the rebound and reels it in.
Hey, Georgetown is making it interesting.
The student sections were both full. Here's Jaden Pierre rising from 3, way off the mark. The rebound for Thomas Sorber. He's a fun kid to watch. He is
guys played with violence. They really did. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. The Alonzo Mournings, the Patrick Ewings, even the Greg Monroes, those type of Fella Harrington, the great bigs. I know.
It out. 6 to shoot. Floyd down the lane, pulls up, scoop finish, no, left it short.
Had the big underneath, probably should have just dumped it off, let him go up and do the work, but Cardette defensively.
Sondiko banging bodies with Sorber underneath. Sorber stays with him as Sondiko unable to squirm away.
Fortunate he didn't get a 3-step there. You know Sorber's behind you, so you can give a little with your PV.
Malik Mack, there's Sorber skying in for the rebound. 8 points, now 5 boards.
For Georgetown, just too easy.
Joseph, the step back 3, off the mark. And Arunse unable to pull down the board.
1 assist right now for Providence. You got to be better than that. To mention that with all this NIL talk and the game being transactional and the money that you hear these players are getting, you still have to stay eligible.
Yep.
You still have to go to class.
Yep.
I mean, I know that
Floyd driving, looking to kick, walled up. Joseph knocked away. A little out of control.
Yeah, probably should have taken that 3. He's hot.
He feels like they have the tools, they have the players. Be competitive in this league. Joseph off balance, met at the rim. Epps probing, and he's swatted. Floyd. Sorber is there to pick up the loose ball. Floyd guarded by Mack. Floyd fall away off balance.
That was a good job by Mack. A little bump down low. Refs didn't see it.
Depth is winning out for Providence this afternoon for sure. Epps, wild take. Sorber the rebound. Mack, deep 3, way off the job. Clutch foul shots. Mack knew it was short. Sorber the offensive rebound. Sorber goes back up. Couldn't get it to go. Floyd pulls it down. Villanova, once again, a top foul shooting team. Dixon, maybe ball don't lie there. 2 out of 3. Of all the things Eric Dixon's been asked to do this year, he's going to be asked to pass the ball quite a bit tonight. Epps couldn't get the roll, tapped up. Sorber underneath somehow comes away with it. And Kyle Neptune is fired. Longino running the show here. Longino drives, lefty finish, no. Rebound Sorber. Hoyas looking off the mark. Rebound from Mosley. Wow. Dixon, deep 3. Drew Fielder in his face. Hoyas in need of a buck.
He wasn't slowed by those injuries.
It's remarkable to hear. This was his first full offseason healthy, Longino. Offensive rebound, and they're going to call a foul. Sorber got his own miss.
So Dixon with the ball in the corner. Nice look.
Yeah, wide open. Mack. They left him alone in the corner. Sorber the rebound, and he couldn't get the putback.
And he takes him down. Yeah. Some air out of the ball, but every time they get fouled, next one will put them at the bonus.
Longino couldn't convert on the layup.
Georgetown needs a good look right now.
4 to shoot. Perkins has to heave it. And he's off the mark. Tapped up by Boachi. Pulled down by Sorber. 90 seconds to go.
You don't need the 3.
Dixon spins, fires, off the mark, rebound for Sorber. Shot clock turned off.
Now you may want to start using
around the tournament bubble, but in need of a marquee win. Jaden Epps is off. Sorber getting on the offensive glass. Here's Malik Mack with 12. Mack. That was altered by Ejiofor. Shot clock didn't reset. It's at 7. Fielder. He's short. Out to Pete.
Have to be active and communicate.
Richmond downstairs to Lewis. Lewis cannot hit. This drought continues. St. John's 0 for its last 10. The team with versus without Sorber, it is significant. He stays on just 1 foul. 12-point Hoya lead.
I think you have to attack. If they're going at 8 for the Thomas Sorber.
Glover. Short.
How about the box out? Burks down low on Ejiofor. That's tremendous work.
Mack with 10.
The other issue now, look, you get 5, you know that, but 2 fouls for Thomas Sorber.
And those were the first points, Donnie, for Richmond. Big East Player of the Week to Scott with 3. It's short, and Sorber was all over it. So how does Georgetown punch back?
Yeah, number 35. A lot of action with him at the top of that key.
Ejiofor. Richmond now driving off to Ejiofor, and Georgetown defended it.
Got to go up strong and try to dunk that ball.
Now that is really cool, Caroline.
And the smell
Great
of the
stuff.
freight elevator, Caroline. Come on, the smell of the freight elevator. That's how we get up here. I love it.
Richmond long and Georgetown up by. Lewis can't hit either. Georgetown still has a pulse. PV with 10. Got to hurry. PV attacks. Lewis with a rejection.
Coach, and right around 30 coaching ball at the collegiate level. Here's Caleb Williams, the lefty for 3. Got it.
And that's a heads-up play right there. We'll have Georgetown's back on that. You know, of those 10 turnovers, a number of them were dead ball turnovers, where they're not interrupted right there by facilitating pass making by Sorber, which we talked.
Leads the country among freshmen. Sorber trying to tip that one in. Williams didn't need to shoot that, but it sets a career high for the
bye in the Big East standings. Top 5 teams get their 4-way tie right now.
Yeah, Georgetown continues to build a team that over the last 3 years only won 4 Big East games. They've surpassed that accomplishment. You ask me what's different about Xavier's defense. When I saw them a month ago, you wouldn't have that. They had 4 guys with arms around the basketball there, and that's been the difference in them defensively. We talked about Georgetown having to...
It's about 2 minutes in for Butler, who led by 7 at halftime in that game against Marquette, but outscored by 16 in the second half. Fielder on the inside with the hook in the left hand.
Inverted, where they kind of lift everybody to the foul line and let him run to the post.
He skips to Peavy, who goes into the lane, absorbs contact, and banks it in. This can keep this a 1-score game. 1:15 to go. 5 to shoot. Mack rattles it in. Big bucket to make it 2 scores.
John. So there's 2 kind of sides of that. You're going to get criticized if you don't have a lot of quad 1 wins. There aren't a lot in this conference. And look at Drew Fielder knocking that 3 ball down out of bounds. That's because Ejiofor had to go back and get it.
He sure did. Fielder, top of the key. Bingo.
They're trusting me, making sure that their babies are going to class, and rightfully so. This game is not going to last forever for a lot of these guys.
Well, that's a nice roll for Peavy.
Fine if you're the Hoyas, and he makes them pay there.
5 players with 9 or more points for Providence. Peavy knocks it down. Peavy with 27. A new is back in for Georgetown.
Nice cut here by Sorber down low.
Kicks to the wing. Peavy.
All about Sorber moving without the basketball. Just Parker to check into the next timeout. The next whistle.
Sorber, that's a blind pass, nearly picked off. Peavy recovers and gets to the rack.
Wow, that was a great look. It was a group.
You can bet Ed Coley's thinking the same exact thing.
Wow, Sorber falling to his backside somehow made that play on a touch pass to Caleb Williams.
Especially on a night like this when Sorber's on the floor.
Epps rises from 3 and hits.
Nice little curl around the screen.
If you're Georgetown Hoya.
He's got it here with 10. A handoff to Curtis Williams. Williams is really in a groove.
He gives them just a
Georgetown. I'd love to see Sorber getting more touches.
He's got it now, quickly doubled. And look at that find. Look at that interior pass in the post to Jordan Berg.
Such a willing passer.
There he is.
And obviously a talented scorer.
Quickly doubled.
Pass it. There you go.
And he knows where to go with it. And there you see what can happen. He may not get the bucket, but Niara. Sorber with a quick outlet. Peavy. And a foul.
He's just so big and strong. He has some length. So once he gets into your body, he doesn't do it the quickest.
Ooh, there's a little give and go reversal. Well done by Curtis Williams.
And this is very physical, which is what Ed Cooley did at Providence. Now he's starting to establish that here at Georgetown. But they're playing against a tremendous offensive team.
What a pass by Sorber and the banker from Mack.
You know, Sorber's third on the team.
Sorber. 10 on the timer. Williams. Aggressive drive. How'd he get that to go?
I'll tell you what, think about Burks and Williams.
Mitchell's got on the bench. 40 seconds. Dead ball means immediate. So Owens getting some major time to shine on the left block. And he gets beaten on that reverse on help. Peavy puts it home.
Xavier 1 for 10 to start this game, and you've got to credit the Georgetown defense for that. Fielder down low, catch, finish, efficient. Our best basketball. Here comes the double on Sorber. The freshman cross-court pass, rifles it. Caught by PV, steps into the two-point jump shot. Fundamental.
This big time. You think about Sorber not.
Peeks inside for a moment where Fielder tries to establish position.
We need to try to get the Hoyas to stop putting the basketball over their head as Fielder with a nice finish, 2 feet in the paint. When you want to
back in the day, there's not a whole lot of guys that got out of town, right, between Maryland and Georgetown when they were in their prime. Speaking of physicality, Drew McKenna lowering that shoulder.
Coach Cooley and his Hoyas as they go into new Big East play. I feel like the Hoyas have a chance just like everyone else.
Williams Jr. for 3. Got it.
Some new vocabulary.
Absolutely. I had some new names too.
Here's Jaden Epps, one of the best bucket getters in the Big East.
But one of the best bucket getters off the catch.
Up to 5. 1 left to give with a lot of time left in this first half. They go right inside to Micah Peavy.
How about that? Doesn't play around with the basketball. Once he
9 minutes into the first half, Ashworth has the last 9 points for Creighton. Williams from the elbow, sweet lefty jumper. Fielder in transition, Fielder along the baseline. To the corner, Williams for 3, yes! Epps brings it up, down low to Sorber, faces up, works his way into the paint, cut off by Kalkbrenner. Excellent defense, Fielder for 3, it's good! It pinballed around!
Here, and he's going to try to D up Sorber. And have to throw it to Mack. Mack, left-handed player, gets to the right and scoops and scores. Georgetown back by 4.
Nice job. Make your adjustment. Mack with a little floater, rolls off. Sorber fighting for it. DeVries rebounds. Sorber, nice take, and right back to Fielder for the flush.
If you're going to have that size,
but it rolls off. Sorber, oh, the no-look pass from the freshman.
I mean, there are some things you can't teach and feel. I would argue that's more of an indictment on the opponent. No offense.
Mack hits the triple.
This is the test that you want if you're Ed Cooley. First road game, and you are being tested. Good pass.
Good pass. It finally in the form of the freshman Caleb.
Peavy taking time to set things up. Gets it back from Sorber. The drive and the easy finish for Micah Peavy.
The young fella Sorber.
Back into the ball game. They go head-to-head right here. Oh, no look from Sorber to the cutting fielder who's going to go to the free throw line.
It's a play. No matter who you're playing, what the record says, it's always a hard-fought game.
It's always known as a obviously emotional and physical game as Mack hits from 18. Didn't work and plenty of time to reset it. For Mack. Got it from 3. What do you see the challenges that they're going to have in terms of translating over to Big East play? Because clearly right now in the non-conference portion, they're fine. Now along the inside, it's going to be a steal and a steal right back again. And good extra pass right there. That is a chance at a three-point play.
Well, it's the big, Sorber the defense, and here comes Matt. Nice pass from Sorber. Fielder off the window.
Excellent patience, I thought, that time by the Hoyas. Sorber could.
Hoyas very methodical. Sorber, nice look. And the lay-in. Burks connects.
We've seen
Seahawks by 2. Mack, the 3, got it, and the foul. Malik Mack a chance for a 4-point play.
Run hard, get tip-ins, play with an awful lot of energy.
Here's Peavy, nifty move off the window.
You know what's interesting in this game? Sorber's been the facilitator to confidence. You can't second guess yourself. You know, you can't wonder if it's a good look. You got to take it with confidence.
Sorber, he's been the facilitator. X for 3.
You know, and Sorber.
And the Blue Devils off to a really strong start this season. This is all geared towards NEC play and repeating. Oh, another nice pass. The Bigs connecting, and Fielder throws it down.
Again, who was the one that made that?
Sorber got a piece of that. Outlet. He knew that was going to be a dunk. They had his arm up, and that's why Ed.
Extend your defense, defend the three-point line.
That's a DP. Oh, he's got another. Jaden. Mack has been battling hard. There is Sorber. Burke to the basket with 3, rolls it in.
Jordan Burks with the nick, but as Coach Donnie Lynn, you got to be kind of happy with those looks.
At point blank. That's how he's been scoring in this early season. Sorber, beautiful find of Fielder.
Mount St. Mary's has 3 guys in the top of their conference rebounding the ball. Sorber second in the Big East.
Sorber. Oh, he can pass to Fielder flush.
Thomas Sorber with the passage from the coaches in the Bigs.
Here is Sorber. Another nice pass, plus the foul. Caleb Williams.
Of this first half. Just 10 minutes into the half, and the Hoyas, the next one, sends Notre Dame to the line. A fresh 20, a Locko, silencer.
Tell you, this is you throw them out there, you know something good will happen at both ends.
Petey with a skip pass to Sorber. Jaden from the DMV. Laurel. Just the 7th Hoya 3. They're 7 of 29.
The ball over. Hoyas try to cash in, and they do. A pretty look from Sorber to the inside for Burks.
Responsibility, you know, for now in the near future, but being able to continue to make plays on both sides of the court.
Well, I'm thinking about another point that Ed Cooley made.
Institution, and this is what they see in you. They see, and you may be great at that, you know, being a very, very good defensive player. That's what they see, and that's what they need for that situation. But you come to another situation, they may say, oh, you know, catch high, stay high. All the things that they teach you growing up. There's a very good delivery of the basketball, and he did what he was supposed to do.
Tell you what, in a really impressive play.
Which are in position to get that final bye in the Big East standings. Top 5 teams get their 4-way.
Inside to Sorber. 8 points immediately in this game. Nothing since. Drops it off. And Georgetown gives it right away. Of course, when I say how clean this game has been, we see back-to-back possessions with Well, Butler the last couple possessions has put together some stops and scores. And that is off the foot of Sorber. First Georgetown turnover of the second half.
Excited to be out here on the floor.
You're a businessman. Have you trademarked that?
You know what? I can't say that that is mine. I've heard that before.
Richmond, Kadari,
Yeah, Georgetown's going to have to pick the pace up a little bit.
Another turnover. Their 5th. Wilcher, stop. Officials say. Taken away by Sorber.
There you go. Look at that.
Epps cannot corral.
That's good, though. That's really good anticipation. Sorber staying alive. Stress the puck. Care put into Coach Thompson's.
Sorber in a scramble here and a tie-up. Prey comes down with it. And St. John's has reestablished their control on this.
Williams feeding Sorber. Sorber's pass deflected by Arunsi.
Might have seen it just a little too late to Williams.
Largest lead for Villanova. Sorber in trouble.
Yeah, that's a tough pass.
Mack trying to pry it out of there, and they'll get the jump ball possession. Sorber driving against Boachi, lost the handle. Brickus comes away with it. Numbers for Villanova.
And Brick to UConn. Huskies were up big at one point. Shot clock at 3. Thomas Sorber, and it's back-to-back turnovers for Georgetown. And Ed Cooley talked to us about it. He's got shot clock at 10. Here is Thomas Sorber, leading the Hoyas in points, rebounds, and blocks. Down to 4 and into the hands of Lewis. A 3rd turnover.
Sorber can't be a passer.
Hit their opening shot in the game. Since then, they're 0 for 12. Got some pushing and shoving down low, and that's a foul on Thomas Sorber. That's Tisfer losing the last 7 meetings. Sorber, offensive foul. That is Thomas Sorber's 4th.
What a smart play.
And does not fall for Stewart. Here come the Hoyas. Look at him go right down into the painted area, but it's pulled away by Solomon Ball. And
it's just so artful in most of their sets. In those pick and roll and drop situations, it's awesome to watch.
Another turnover, and UConn is right on.
Tyler Kolek was finding him. Now the ball's in his hands. A little different shooting him off the dribble.
Mack, what a feed! And Sorber, hot potato, couldn't handle. Demarius Owens snaps to the
shot. He shot it like he knew it was going to go in.
Hesitant 3, Parham hits heel. Sorber had it, knocked free. Marquette ball. How does Marquette attack this zone?
Well, they got
Peavy.
That's where you got to throw it.
Oh, Sorber.
Tough
Great
pass.
idea, but Sorber couldn't handle it.
He's got to shoot that, I think. He's right near the basket.
Bad pass.
You even want to watch them make more threes.
Worst giveaway night for Marquette of the year. Jones rattles loose. Mitchell took it away. Foul on the floor. Is that Sorber?
Georgetown, physicality and attention to detail.
And that's going to be an illegal screen on the other end against Georgetown as Sorber gets whistled for it. Sorber trying to go high-low and sails it over everyone. Out of bounds. Xavier Ball, timeout on the floor.
Who played at least 2/3 of the games.
Yeah, Coach Stewart is just next man up mentality. But it's such a small world. You know, Coach Stewart, he played basketball with a former teammate of mine, Phil Booth. His dream work, my guy.
There it is. Caleb Williams getting the block for Georgetown. And he has been in the starting lineup as the Hoyas lose the ball the last couple of games because Malik Mack has been out. The way he's been playing, why not?
Just dominate.
They're going to say off the knee of Sorber. That was
just being dominant. I mean, what has the young fella not done tonight?
Nice job on the alley-oop. Peavy kind of tries to get that to Sorber. Doesn't end well, but
sounds like it hurt, brother. I'm feeling for you. That sounds painful.
Long time ago, my friend. Long time ago. And there's another turnover. Turnover number 12. I need
it right there. One of the few lapses that he's had defensively, or offensively rather, throughout this game. He's just been extremely dominant.
We're going to call a jump ball. He loses the ball. Person who had 15 20-point games as a freshman.
Yeah, catching Bubba Chuck might be a tough task at hand, but I think the young fella's making his mark here at Georgetown. Quite nice.
Executed times.
Yeah, it's high intensity. You got other grown men running at you trying to take the basketball. Definitely sounds a lot easier than it is, but got to be able to get that done at this level.
One between these two coaches tied at 3-3.
Sorber, they go right to him, and Seton Hall comes up with an opening stop.
Really good job defensively, swarming that ball. You knew exactly where to look, but use a lot of that clock, and now you're searching into the shot clock for a good bucket.
Peavy downstairs to Sorber, but he traveled.
That's a great job down. Just a phenomenal human, he really is.
Dry sense of humor, Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's so good.
3 seconds here. Stolen by Toomey. Toomey with a heave, and that does it for our first half. A 9-E score. Battle in the injury. Adewusu.
Yeah.
The left hand is off. Fielder with the board. And now we've got double technicals. Toomey and Sorber goes back door. It's a turnover. The 17th Georgetown turnover.
Able to get a defensive rebound and get out and attack the paint.
Good.
To Sorber.
And he threw it away, but let me tell you something. That was a pretty good look.
Here's Cole.
And maybe get him more space on offense with Kalkbrenner out of the lane, because he really wasn't doing much anyways. He might as well go small.
And there's Neal with the steal. Sorber is back in the game with the errant pass, but then Neal dribbled it off his foot.
And got to be a quick one for Carlos, hustling his way to the basket. He misses a two. It's rebounded by Sorber. Knocked away, Freeman. It doesn't matter. Georgetown storms into the
defense. Just takes who they can take. You had the advantage down low, and they were able to capitalize.
Some physical play underneath. Sorber whistled for the foul. Into Sorber, the double comes and the turnover. Meeting number 54 between these two. Georgetown leads all time 27-26, but haven't won in Morgantown since 2008.
For your team to get it easy.
Sorber was looking for Fielder, not able to hold on. Ed Cooley saying, all right, guys, let's relax. We got a 10-point.
Coming into that shot attempt, he's been bothered by an injured thumb, but now another opportunity as Briggs gets the steal and the scoop.
Going right back to Drew Fielder here.
Where they went. A hand in the passing lane and off the steal. The drive this time, Lindsay. That on the backdoor cut was not there on the pass from Sorber. High. It's a hard drop to the floor for the freshman Sorber, who apparently lost his footing.
They're making Wagner take tough twos. You know, even though Wagner's hit some shots early, the shot that they hit have had a hand in their face by the Warriors.
Got an offensive foul on that screen.
Get back out here. You see, they're setting up on the floor. The ball hasn't even been inbounds yet. And Sorber's introducing himself a little bit.
Esquerra off the pickpocket, lays it in. Javi Esquerra off the... With 10. Sorber again. down low fielder. Errant pass. His heads to Mount St. Mary's. As we take a look at Ed Cooley, who's very high.
Have good taste, but make sure they get the right shot every time.
Mack dumping it down low, and that pass probably was not the one he wanted to throw. Had his man too far underneath the basket. And the Hoyas have hurried a couple of their passes in the half-court offense since. That one is knocked away, and off the steal, here comes Fairfield again, trying to tie or take the lead.
Higgins with 13, Gillis with 13. They've got 26 of Lehigh's 31, and now a turnover gives it back to the Mountain Hawks.
Trouble with the few bodies they do have, they can't afford to be in that situation.
And Seton Hall has gone 8 for 11 at the stripe, and Sorber with a big block. 2-on-1 Georgetown.
Which are in position to get that final bye in the Big East standings. Top 5 teams get their 4-way tie right now.
Yeah, Georgetown continues to build a team that...
No Jaden Epps out with illness. Bizjack lobs, screen, kicks, Telfort one more. Brooks, it was tipped. Thomas Sorber got a hand.
Epps picks up the foul. Corey Floyd had a nice game. Providence coming out their bye week, and there's Sorber with the rejection. 9-4 Georgetown. Mila yet to get going this afternoon. And there's Sorber with his second block. Oh, he's giving them the lead here, 45-44. An 8-0 run for the Hoyas. Mila blocks. Sorber another one. 5 to shoot.
Off of a tough week against Marquette and UConn. Wiltshire trying to find its way in, and Sorber said, get out of here. That's Hoya basketball. Mack all the way. A leg injury, and he's been battling. Iwuchukwu, right hand.
It's a tough position against the zone, John, to put a big at the top of that.
3-minute scoring drought for Georgetown. Richmond gliding in. He's stuck with the play, and Kadari is starting to cook.
Look, and that's why his nickname is Cook this half for St. John's. Their activity, their hands.
Lewis shut down by Sorber. Risky with 4 fouls, and then Sorber forces the turnover.
Wow. And really, for a team that's the youngest in the Big East by far in terms of experience, and probably one of the top 5 youngest in the entire country, Georgetown.
Williams swatted that one. Stewart from downtown. Off the heel, Johnson the rebound. Sorber the rejection, and a foul underneath. There was a time when Georgetown was rejection rough.
Yes, they were.
Diarra. Sorber with a quick outlet.
But they'll learn from it.
Hoyas never went away, but they were never able to really seize control. There's another deflection and another run out.
He's doubled. Trying to dribble into the corner. Needs help. Desperate pass. Pinned under the cup. Sorber reject. Jump ball. Arrow goes to the Hoyas.
Really good defense, and that's
3 quarters.
You know, the other thing that makes this zone, that's a tough shot too. The other thing that makes that zone so good, John, is you got Burks and Williams. Those guys are long. I mean, look at the team that's in there now.
Jones. Great look to Joplin. Rejected by Sorber.
2 blocks a game he averages.
Joplin. Bumps into Sorber. Rejected away.
With 4 fouls, look at the play that kid just made.
Joplin to Jones. Ball sticking a bit. Jones on the drive.
Sorber again. Another block.
He is finished that.
It's a little bit of time to get that rhythm back. Game speed, unlike anything else you can replicate. Conwell wants to try and back it down into the paint. Blocked. Sorber claims the orange, and Georgetown again.
A senseless foul there on Fremantle, who's not even trying to attempt the basket.
McKnight picks up the dribble, sent out of bounds by Sorber had a beat on it as soon
The team when to compete and fight and scrap and claw and get themselves a chance right here in this game.
Working on Sorber again. This time he gets the block, his first block of the game. Nowhere to go for Ellerby. Harrison has done a nice job on the offensive end so far. Shot clock running down. Really nowhere to go as Sorber gets his second block of the game.
Whenever you're coaching how to defend a dribble handoff, you tell your defender to run through the screen if the person isn't set, and you'll be rewarded with a moving screen every single time.
Well, Thomas Sorber reward. Here's Williams. Off the hands of Fielder, and another turnover for Georgetown. Here come the Eagles. They just can't score down low on Sorber. That's his 5th block of the game.
He's a job here. You see it's a weird looking, almost a 4-1 zone.
Yalden deflected.
Georgetown only 3 of 11 from 3.
Both teams just with 3 threes apiece. Jenkins, that was straight up defense by Sorber. Yalden, Coleman has attempted 19 more shots than Georgetown in this second half. Jenkins, he drives. Chauncey Jenkins was shut down. Coleman sticks it back. It's a 1-point game.
Back to Ashworth off the screen. Ashworth to Kalkbrenner. Tough catch. And his shot is blocked from behind by Sorber. That spun it over the rim.
Even though it was a missed shot, Neal needs to be able to get out in transition, and that's where he can make things happen. I would not be surprised if he gets a bucket.
Oh, Sorber with the block,
shot
the
block.
two-handed
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm
3.
You know, you got to give the Hoyas credit. Their half-court defense has been really
No doubt.
good.
Neal has it blocked away. They get it back. McAndrew for
trying to get back there slowly but surely under Ed Cooley. This would be a significant win even if these teams are down. Freeman, that is smothered by Sorber. Syracuse hasn't had Freeman in the game for 13 minutes. Davis denied at the rim. What a play by Sorber. The freshman with a rejection.
They're going to work on getting the ones on the floor going, but now it looks like the ones up top are working, so.
Well, we play on. Sorber blocks the shot inside. A nice timeout for the.
Have some of that wear off on his freshman teammates as we get along further into this game.
Sometimes it's like osmosis, just being around it rubs off on you. And there's Sorber with the block.
Off of his legs. Turnovers have been the Achilles heel right now in the second half for the Hoyas.
Here's Adunwo. He gets the shot blocked by Sorber, but he's been one of the guys for UMBC who's had it going. Sapp spinning in the lane, nowhere to go. Sorber there like an oak tree.
Here's Williams off that early 3. Gray Howell South. He's physical, but Sorber's a bit more physical.
It's time for me to set it up for others and knowing when it's on me.
Esquera pushes it out. Howell South. Oh, Sorber! Get out of my way.
And the guy goes to the free throw line, and he makes 1 of 2. Do you still get an assist?
Half an assist, maybe. Can you? Green, no.
I mean, you're already rewriting the record book.
And jumped on a train and came with Ed here to D.C. There's Pinedo. Blocked. Sorber. To Mark Kelly. He is left-handed all the way. 3-2, trying to work his way in. Blocked by Sorber. Okay, shot clock violation. Outstanding defense by Thomas Sorber.
What was
Rosenberger. To get the handle, lefty going left. Blocked by Sorber. Kept it in play. Here comes Georgetown. Epps with 22 in the lane. Taken away by Sorber. Rosenberger denied.
Sorber blocked that with his grip.
Each time that you have a Georgetown possession that the ball doesn't get in the paint is probably not the best thing that can happen for their offense.
That ball partially blocked. Sorber got a hand on it. Half. Shot clock down to 5. Rogan fading away. Got it on the rim. Couldn't get it to fall. They get the rebound and a block. And now a third try, and it's banked home.
By Peavy, but nice defense there off the ball by Knosman. Whitney Sidney. Net right there, ball deflected, and bodies on the fly. Matt closed quickly on Gillis, and then has it swatted away by Sorber.
Jamil Telford leading score, double knocked away. Peavy stripped it. Peavy ahead. Thomas Sorber with a hello to Hinkle. To be. Landed more in the game for the first time. Driving guard. He does that. Sorber was there to take it away from him. Stops you in so many different ways.
Wasn't an angle. You got to eventually.
Sorber with the interception. Sorber!
He played a nice angle in transition, too, on Conwell.
Yes.
Keep him on his hip.
Yes. Nice cut.
The hands and the length of Sorber show up.
I'm telling you, it distorts passing lanes. You think.
Screen bodies against Sorber, stripped away. Mulready stop and pop in transition. What?
Talk about resilient. Younger players forget the last result. So this is not a Georgetown team that's looking at their wounds from St. John's, putting it on them.
Sorber got this. Screen finds a cutting. McCaffrey lost it. Georgetown ball, and Butler's
now
got a foul.
Shots. Now it's, but they have to foul twice. When he made the little floater over two guys for the game winner a couple games ago.
Ejiofor shut down by Sorber. Fielder corrals.
Gotta go. Push it.
Epps, some contact, but that was a clean block, the officials say. Taken away by Sorber.
There you go. Look at that.
Epps cannot corral.
Williams maybe had the edge to get to the bucket. They just make you think about it.
Another turnover. Here comes Peavy. Mack to Peavy. St. John's has had a 5-minute scoring drought and now a close to 4-minute scoring drought in this half. That's another turnover. They're 8th in the last 9.5 minutes. Peavy to Sorber, back to Peavy.
You love playing for a coach like Ed Cooley because he sees if you work your tail off in practice, he'll allow you to shoot those in games.
And there's Sorber coming away with the steal. Peavy feeding the Georgetown team's young. A preponderance of underclassmen, but there is some good leadership here. Peavy is one of them, and this is a takeaway for the Hoyas defensively. This is one of the better defensive teams in the Big East.
And this team with close to 5 defensive boards game at 6 feet tall. Pretty impressive. Sloppiness from the Red Storm. A third turnover.
Mahaney on the dribble drive. Boy, nice work for that rebound again by Terrace Reed. Another foul.
I don't like that. In here, real game, you got to be careful.
Ross.
Oh, I can talk with the best of them, too, believe me.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. I think that's on the scout.
Playing connected defensively.
You're right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head again. It's just they're flying around, and that's it right there. Just playing smart defense. It shows you the basketball IQ of that young freshman right there.
It's away from home there in Baltimore. There's Sorber again. Fundamental defense, but Coppin State scrapping down low before Georgetown finally comes up with the loose ball.
Throw it in there.
Coach Marshall, how does Seton Hall get better looks?
Yeah, there's got to be cleaner screens, one. You can't anticipate your passes either.
Peavy loses it, and we got here's Duall with 10. Duall with 8. Hadn't made his move until 6. Now Duall goes in, lost it, and with 3 seconds in, Cooley calls time.
How?
With 7. Adewusu with 5. Adewusu with 3. Adewusu pulls it out. He lost it. Georgetown wins at the Rock for the first time in a...
To that under-16 timeout, figure things out, make your adjustment. Mack with a little floater, rolls off. Sorber fighting for it. DeVries rebounds. Sorber, nice take, and right back to Fielder for the flush. You know, we got some stuff in.
That's why I brought you, man.
We got a promo in. I'm made for blowouts. Bad shot clocks. Shot clocks.
Skill development. Spent the summer in LA this summer training against a lot of pros, so would love to see his development offensively and defensively.
Georgetown coming up with a steal, pushing the pace a little bit. Here's Peavy.
He finished above the basket.
Banks working on Sorber, and then Sorber picks up the loose ball, gets to Mack. Mack looking ahead.
Points of their 26 in the paint for the Hoyas. And Marshall, who's playing with 2 fouls, gets stripped of the basketball. Georgetown a chance to expand. Look at this Georgetown team, and you know them very, very well. What do you see the challenges that they're going to have in terms of translating over to Big East play? Because
still looking for that offensive identity. It's a tough defensive team under Donald Copeland. Here's Lewis the big, Sorber the defense, and here comes Matt.
Special talent.
3 steals a game for Peavy. The top 3 in the Big East. Another turnover. Sorber for his fellow big. Fielder, head down and a foul call.
To keep certain of their assignments.
Pineda had it knocked out of his hand, stolen by Sorber. Nice job. Breakout Hoyas. Here's Epps. 10-4 run. They were down by 15. Sorber saw that coming and great save. Burks to Epps. They leave him alone. 3 ball.
And boy, coming after him with a little more aggression.
Right in Kelly's face. Has it, lost it, fumbles it, lose it again. Sorber tied up. Almost a chokehold.
A nice cut. Terrell R doing a lot of the damage. He's up high. Telegraph the pass, and Sorber with the heads defensively.
that's what he is after, and he has done that before, obviously, with the success he had in Fairfield in 5 years, the success he had at Providence.
Steal on the out of bounds.
This team, they showed that tonight. And that 3 went all the way around but came out. And now Sorber rips it away. We got a held ball. Possession arrow will give it to Georgetown. Different feel, lots of energy. The drive, the know-how is good. They've done a good job here in the closing minutes of opening this lead up, and immediately they get a steal. Mack quickly.
You got to play with freedom. You got to play with confidence. You got to play with freedom. It doesn't matter how many people are down, how many people are not used to being in this situation. This is an opportunity to make a name for yourself.
That time, and it did work eventually. Sorber with the
NBA player.
Thought he played a nice angle in transition too on Conwell.
Yes.
Keep him on his hip.
Yes. Nice cut. Dikembe Mutombo.
They need to stop right here. Back door, they get their stop.
Bizjack baseline. 5 to shoot. Spins back. Nice drop off to Screen, who flushes it.
Both of these staffs talk about resilient. Younger players forget the last result. So this is not a Georgetown team that's looking at their...
Okay, let's win this minute 30. Right now you're up 3.
Prey with a spin. The delivery to Iwuchukwu. How about the big man?
Yeah, the size.
63% in the first half. 20 of 32 from the floor. Iwuchukwu from Prey. And here's the other thing, Donnie. It's not just the starters. They're playing together.
Problem with that.
An entry to Lewis. He can't hit. Sorber with the rebound.
Got to go if you're the whole tough shots. Even though you thought Caleb Williams maybe had the edge to get to the bucket, they just make you think about it.
Another turnover.
To be able to do that tonight.
St. John's has had a 5-minute scoring drought and now a close to 4-minute scoring drought in this half. That's another turnover.
Izalo didn't play last time out against Villanova, and there he is underneath the hoop, and he gets fouled.
That's a big boy, and it's, you're talking about
Floyd baseline, feeding it inside as Sandico throws it down, and the Friars have the lead.
Yep, trust me on that one.
Okay, I won't look it up.
I know you're a young fella, trust me.
Mila, the lob pass. How did that drop? Arunse Yeah, I thought so too. Little guy against the big.
Brickus threw it away. Up for grabs on the deck, and this whip.
If we can make some shots and set up our zone, Georgetown's led the league in scoring defense. Lewis. Wow, a lot of contact, but this is... St. John's hasn't made a field goal in 5.5 minutes. Edge of 4 underneath, no. Up the floor to play point and be able to lead this team with close to 5 defensive boards game at 6 feet tall. Pretty impressive. Sloppiness from the Red Storm. Tough week against Marquette and UConn. Wiltshire trying to find its way in, and Sorber said, get out of here. That's Hoya basketball. Mack all the way.
Still have to be active and communicate.
Richmond downstairs to Lewis. Lewis cannot hit. This drought continues. St. John's stands are shooting 48%. Richmond with the fake. He's off. Scott comes down with it.
Peavy's guarding no one right. Not only in their offense, getting Alex Caravan involved, not just on the perimeter, but around the basket.
Oh, a little give, a little go, and show. Caravan. Hence their frustration. What a pass. Caravan to Terrace Reed for the slam.
See, they're just playing catch out on the perimeter. That's where you got to try and get the ball. Now, usually you're not going to get it that deep.
Joplin was battered, and the Jones, great look to Joplin. Rejected by Sorber.
2 blocks.
Down, it really does feel like everybody's flying around and playing connected defensively.
You're right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head again. It's just they're flying around, and that's it right there. Just playing smart.
Cross-court pass in the corner. McKnight to Hunter. Hunter takes the contact.
Zeller really almost loses the handle, goes behind the back here. Nice pass down low, and unable to finish is Aduro.
But he's been known to throw it in there.
Coach Marshall, how does Seton Hall get better looks?
Yeah, there's got to be cleaner screens. One, you can't anticipate.
Scores. Again, playing with 2 fouls. Tried to poke the ball away. It ends up with Carlos with 5 to shoot. Davis, he just owns that spot. Doing the Red Cooley things. Davis again. Rare miss from the mid-range.
You typically never find that in a freshman, if we're being honest with you. It's just so hard to compete at this level, so when you have a freshman that can just come in and be about the team.
It's been certainly a rebuild times 2 for Ed Cooley.
Trying to get off this long point schneid. Get an opportunity to do it at the line as Kasper Kwachik gets fouled. Opportunity now for Albany. Oh, wow, what a move. Up and under, still won't fall.
Those teams go at it.
From a basketball standpoint, he's the reason that Harvard's been taking a new height, and that's for sure, especially as of late.
Downs misses the flow.
See them from a defensive standpoint coming after him with a little more aggression.
Right in Kelly's face, has it, lost it, fumbles it, lose it again.
He's okay with it as long as those are contested.
Especially when you look at the Georgetown scouting report. Here's Ard. Can't find the touch. Lipscomb the offensive. Also back on the floor for the Mount. A nice cut. Terrell Ard doing a lot of the damage. He's up high. Telegraph the passes. Nifty spin move. What a feed! Adebayo impacting both ends.
Sound struggling offense. Plus, Xavier and Seton Hall both in action. We bring you those highlights as well. Fansa, welcome to the team. Back to you and my guy, Donnie Marshall.
Good program.
That's what he is after, and he has done that before, obviously, with the success he had in Fairfield in 5 years, the success he had at Providence.
Osman, not much of a scorer. Whitney Sidney drops it off for Alvey, who lays it in. Osman off for a driving Higgins. Drops it to the freshman Alvey. But ball movement. See Kayvon Mulready into the game for Georgetown, another talented freshman. They swing it around, and the finish by Aldi off the faith in this team. He said it's a totally different feel, lots of energy. The drive, the know-how is good. They've done a good job here in the closing minutes of opening this lead up.
Brooks takes the ball.
Georgetown switching 1 through 5. It's mismatches all over the court. You just got to take advantage of it.
Tapped out to Felton. Coleman's hit both of his three-point shots today. He kicks it out to Felton. That three off the heel. Peavy the rebound for Georgia.
And Xavier settles it down. Conwell steps in. And still nothing from deep yet. And tries the other block. Shut off there. McKnight out for Fremantle on the edge.
It's a shot he can make. And once he sets it, now all of a sudden that defensive player has to make a decision whether they should go with him or go with the guard, and that'll open up some opportunities.
He gets a look late in the clock off the. Swain with aggression. Fremantle dials up a three that wouldn't stick.
Butler leans on the three-point shot. That's the way they open up the floor.
Right on cue, that's Bowden Kapke, who's short from the corner. The big man, Rain, gets into the heart of the paint.
On penetration, always look behind you. That guy is often open. Kafka was open behind Brooks on that, but they will mix it in.
He had just 8 points against St. John's Tuesday night, already 10 in the first half. Brooks in the middle of that zone floats it in.
No cracks.
McCaffrey
Strong
bounces to
chest.
screen, back to McCaffrey. Telfort lines up a corner three and sticks it.
And why? Because they went
down to 5. Into the hands of number 1 in red, who's been big time tonight. Richmond off to Glover. That's
Tough
shot
one.
clock violation.
That's tough. Getting downhill, and for Mila, look, he's young. He loves going to that right hand, and Thomas Sorber read it perfectly. You know he goes right, he's going to spin back.
Wesley Carnett Jr., they're glad to have him back. Three well short. Mila tracks down the long rebound. Fernandez wants it. Off the mark. Rebound for Williams. Shot clock turned instantly.
Sorber's in good company, too, with those double-doubles. He turned as a freshman. Cooper flag. Banks in the
right here because Villanova's not doing anything with the ball except taking time off the clock.
Dixon short from 18 feet. Peavy the rebound.
Advantage too with Longino again. He'll go right up over.
F staying with him. Shovel, Boachi. No.
The 80s in this league, they did it both literally and figuratively. And these two teams could do it. Lewis knocks it down.
Over the ball. If you're St. John's, you're saying, hey, we're doing a wonderful job keeping the ball out of his hand.
Lewis short, and this time it's going the other way.
Conference action.
Georgetown back man-to-man now.
Jones, kick, Ross in rhythm.
Yes! He's been... When that step back, I've seen him make shot after shot like that. You have to force him to be a driver. Oh, Fremantle right at you.
Important for Coppin State to get off to a quick start here like they did against NC State a couple of weeks ago. And just off the mark.
Going, rebounded, affecting shots. I mean, what has this young gentleman not done in this first half?
And then the answer from Ellerby. But it's almost like Curtis Williams wasn't looking for the ball there, and they've been a little out of sync on the offensive end in terms of the passing.
Yeah, just
Isaiah Coleman.
Adewusu can't reel it in. Seton Hall's 3 of 12.
He sits so far back in those drops.
He really does.
Mark Sears and Phylon was just eating up those mid-range floaters.
And Kalkbrenner cans his second three-pointer.
They do need to do that, but it's off a foul, so the ball is stopping. So there's not a lot of movement to get into a rhythm.
Kalkbrenner for 3. He's made 2 tonight. He follows his own shot.
Flex, but if they continue to operate that, he's going to get a tight curl at the elbow and get another option.
Great ball movement. Corner threes. No good from Toby Okani.
Epps up to 15. His season high is 23 against St. Francis earlier this year. Hansberry from long range. And another rebound for Fielder.
With the first bucket of the game for the Hoyas.
Jay Neps getting the Hoyas started early. Let's see if his energy can be a catalyst to get these guys going on offense and defense.
Josh Adunwo with
on his freshman teammates as we get along further into this game.
Sometimes it's like osmosis, just being around it rubs off on you. And there's Sorber with Dickerson doing a nice ball to corral that rebound to Adunwo. And Adunwo is having a nice night. He's been quiet. 24 points for the Hoyas.
Very good contest right there by Sorber.
Outside, that shot won't fall, and trying to get his team to build confidence during the early portion of the season. These kinds of games do that for a player?
Definitely. The way they're shooting the ball tonight.
Williams, good quick hands. Nice extra pass. Adnan can't hit the three.
You may want to start to think about subbing some of your main core guys, because now you start to think about injuries and just little things like that as you start to inch closer towards
big premium on defense.
Yeah, and I like the pressure. It's a 2-2-1 full court pressure. It's not designed necessarily to steal the ball. They just don't want to have to chase St. Francis.
So Boise, Idaho. Rosenberger got a look, and he knocks it down. Bobby Rosenberg, the third. They picked up the pressure of his guards. Mack. 3 ball, and it's good. Riley Parker, another big bucket by him.
Before Dave.
Indeed. Tough. Way outside, Mr. Iron kept alive. Pineda bouncing over Sorber's leg.
It's game. Hard. Bank not open.
He cannot connect. Offensive rebound, Knesny. That's a foul on Sorber. His third. And we've got a timeout. The Irish
out. Halifanoa to drive to the basket for the layup.
First lead of the game for the Hoyas here. That one did not go well, 3. But every possession has been like that for Fairfield. They have got the gray jersey right inside their chest. That's making it awfully.
Here, Jaden Epps still in the ball game out of the timeout. As screen backs down on Sorber. Into him, he forced it up and was stopped by the rim.
Good defense.
The 2 teams you just saw in FS1. The only teams better on defense in the Big East. Fremantle short on a long possession for Xavier, and that's a travel. 4-minute segments between timeouts.
Micah Peavis having himself a night. 14 points in this game so far.
Fremantle replies.
Well, we talked about earlier.
He has kept Georgetown in it. Xavier's nosed out to what looks like a pull away a few times, and Fremantle again.
As we said earlier, I love it.
Games in the league. Andre Screen, the 7'1" center who just checked in for the first time at the media timeout, goes up strong but can't finish, and Peavy leaps for the rebound.
Against Sorber.
He was starting for a while, has come off the bench for the last 4. Physical move inside, no, got his own miss. Kick out to Brooks, who leaves it for Bizjack. Spins baseline, good feed. Screen, muscles it up, banks it in. 7-point game.
Forget it. You gotta have it and just keep playing.
Richmond with a dime to edge of 4. Shot clock at 10. Richmond's there again. Kadari Richmond is...
It's a nice bright spot for the Hoyas, and Drew Fielder knocking one down from the top. They have 5 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes. Georgetown after a really nice start.
Cardette defensively.
Sondiko banging bodies with Sorber underneath. Sorber stays with him as Sondiko unable to squirm away.
Peavy has the size to pull that off.
Peavy with a dozen. There's a rim save going up strong against Sorber. Couldn't finish the dunk. Joseph.
The character and his maturity.
Sondiko. Sorber all over him.
I love it. No whistle.
Out to hang around. Mentioned that this Georgetown team's young, a preponderance of underclassmen, but there is some good leadership here. Peavy is one of them, and this is a take.
Georgetown, they've owned it. Up by 12 on typically a great St. John's rebounding team. Edge of 4 with an angry slam.
That's when Sorber has to stay on.
A leg injury, and he's been battling. Iwuchukwu, right hand.
It's a tough position against the zone, John, to put a big...
And fight and scrap and claw and get himself a chance right here in this game.
Working on Sorber again. This time he gets the block, his first block of the game. Nowhere to go for Ellerbe.
Shot up on the basket so you can offensive rebound like Coppin State did right there.
Tough drive by Julius Ellerbe. He was just playing a bigger, stronger team just 45 minutes away from home there in Baltimore. There's Sorber again, fundamental defense, but Coppin State, Drew Fielder, brand new to this Hoya squad. And here's Sorber in the paint, Peter or
calling. Jenkins can't get the friendly bounce. Ariarene, the freshman, with an offensive rebound. Ariarene cannot connect. Now Middleton fighting for it, and they go down to Yalden. Yalden with Sorber guarding him, and Yalden hits. It's down to 5.
Clock at 20. Ashworth left side of the lane. Sorber's back in, by the way, battling against Kalkbrenner. What a matchup that is. Kalkbrenner caught underneath, and he went out of bounds.
He had against Kansas.
Well, they go right down low to Kalkbrenner. Yep. One-on-one. Kalkbrenner gets his man off his feet, tries to jam it, but rolls it in.
What is it to really play in the Big East? I always felt that the first game or two in the Big East was the toughest. You know why? It's usually during exam week.
When no more Jaquan Carlos, Elijah Moore, Chris Bell, Donnie Freeman. And here's Eddie Lampkin Jr. the big. His first taste is Syracuse, Georgetown, and he misses one at the rim.
They were not good last year. They basically cleaned the slate after last year. He's got 14 new faces. But he's a force of nature. I mean, he's...
This year's Sorber, the Georgetown bench is standing up. Ed Cooley screaming for an offensive foul. Lampkin leaves it short. And then Lampkin hits a decimal. Jordan Burks off the bench. Davis patiently waiting. A fadeaway, way too strong. Taylor with Carlos, Davis, Moore, and Lampkin. Couldn't catch that pass from Carlos.
Live podcast. You know, we got some stuff in.
That's why I brought you, man.
We got a promo in. I'm made for blowouts. Man, you have to understand, like, winning in college basketball is not easy. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. I think carrying the load that came into the season for Cooper is sustainable to you. I do think Ed Cooley can do that. Sure did it at Providence.
And certainly from what we've talked to him, he's up for the challenge.
But he's been doing a lot of skill development. Spent the summer in LA this summer training against a lot of pros. So would love to see his development offensively and defensively.
Georgetown. Along the baseline, amongst the trees, Odunwo now leading the way.
That I played against that he reminds me of, just because as a freshman, his skills and everything that he possesses is just so unique.
And then the defense right there from Sorber, doing it on both.
They can't even get a touch for Neely down low. Goes one-on-one. Too short. And the whole...
Wagner still looking for that offensive identity. It's a tough defensive team under Donald Copeland. Here's Lewis the big, Sorber the defense, and here...
Can't pass the ball. The best thing to do is to drive.
Here's the defense from Sorber. 10 to shoot. Lewis can step out. Oh, man, Keontae Lewis. 4th high major test already tonight for Wagner. Here's Lewis, who's been thriving early. Sorber the contest. Ascara comes away offensively.
And to do offensively, but defensively, you have to keep certain of their assignments.
Pineda had it knocked out of his hand, stolen by Sorber. Nice job. Breakout, boy, this made it all the way. 3-2, trying to work his way in. Blocked by Sorber. That'll be a shot clock violation. Outstanding defense by Thomas.
12 have come in this half. Even struggling shooting the ball, he's continuing to lead his team and be
Alvey. Up by Sorber. Not a lot of room, but a nice turnaround floater.
Georgetown head coach Ed Cooley, as you mentioned, Wesley, wants to keep Seton Hall's offensive rebounds to 5 or less Pirates just had one on their...
And Mike's in there. Swain almost had the blow by. Hughley on the attack. He's fouled. He goes thundering to the rim.
He's in the thick of it with Sorber.
Bizjack thought about the three, steps in, leans in, and got the whistle. +1.
Twice saving the possession. Pierre navigates Sorber baseline. What a move! What a finish! Pulling things down.
Dixon just waiting it out outside.
Dixon blows by the freshman, gets to the rack and scores.
That's where they're looking at him as zone right now. So you want to go to the middle of the floor if you can.
Dixon baseline, and he has 29 to lead the Wildcats to the three-point line too.
And look at that strong move by Reed. High arching off the glass. Loose ball taken.
On the ball, so you're trying to steal it.
Caravan again. Yeah. Nylon.
Today, end-line drive for Jones. Kick out of the wing. Extra pass corner. 6 to shoot. Stride inside. Floater. Banker miss. And one and done. The board there for Drew Fielder.
And let's not but in this situation here, real game, you got to be careful.
Ross.
Oh, I can talk with the best of them, too, believe me.
Somehow.
Has really picked his three-point shooting up. You didn't like the fact that I tried to claim him. I said H-Town. I said D-Town.
Fremantle.
It's very important for Georgetown to close this half the right way. You want Zinger to get confidence on Hunter going to the rim. And that's about transition. You know, it's great to start going up and down, but you have to play some defense as well.
Back with 19 points. Fremantle, another answer.
And it looks like he's starting to get his feet under.
Creep into this game, just being careless with the basketball, not making smart decisions. Coach Cooley will continue to coach his guys up on that. As Sorber right there affected another shot, just being again. Matt got his offensive rebound. He had 2 feet in the paint, and he looked the pass. And that's what created that turnover right there for the Hoyas.
Sorber getting it.
I would like to see Caleb Williams re-enter the basketball into the post right there. He got the ball, didn't necessarily have something that he loved. Throw it back into the big fella so we can get something that we all like. Absolutely.
See 6'5" guards doing that.
Well, we call those big guards. Shout out to Big Guard U.
Hofstra transferred Carlos. Caught in the air. Davis will drive it into Sorber. And here's the second foul on the freshman Thomas Sorber. They work on Fielder. Out to Donnie Freeman, who got off to a hot start. Into the half with 8. And a long 2. It will be short. Sorber. Here's Jair Davis back on the floor. He drew 5 Georgetown fouls in the first half. He's going to draw another here. 25 for Epps. That's a season high. Moore drives it strong. Moore, no. Lampkin tipped it. Rebound, Malik Mack.
And as you ask more and more of them, those are the type of guys that step up with more responsibility.
O'Connie. No good. Fielder rebounds.
One's on the floor going, but now it looks like the ones up top are working, so.
Well, we play on as Sorber blocks the shot inside. A nice.
Turnovers have been the Achilles heel right now in the second half for the Hoyas.
Here's a Dunwo. He gets the shot blocked by Sorber, but he's been one of the guys for UNB.
But I think what he's going to talk about in the next huddle is trying to do that without fouling.
On the inside, wild shot. Neely was expecting a call that he didn't get.
They had 6 players who got drafted in the draft that year. And our last 2 losses, as funny as it sounds, one of those years came to the national championship game.
He'll start to be a little more effective than he's been thus far.
Here's 5th attacking hard to the free throw line. I like to know a 7', 270
corner. Good ball movement by St. Francis. Another lefty on the floor. That's a good-looking stroke there by Juan Cranford Jr.
You know, St. Francis.
Rosenberger. To get the handle. Lefty going left. Blocked by Sorber. Kept it in play. Here comes Georgetown.
The double comes, and the Mountaineers in transition.
Mount St. Mary's has to capitalize off these turnovers, make Georgetown pay. Unfortunately, another.
Hobbs been silent in the first half. Orr with the strength. Wild shot, Sorber the board. Cooley looked at this as a barometer, wanted that energy coming out tonight. Adebayo off the fake. Turnaround. Little sky hook. Oh.
Konstantinovsky got it to go. It's a 12-point Notre Dame lead.
Tell you what, 12-point lead and getting some good rest.
5 fouls on Georgetown here in the second half.
Hand finished, and now he gets a catch and shoot 3 in the corner. Now the hoop's ocean.
Arine again with the putback. Cutting team. We haven't seen it yet. Let's see if that evolves over the course of this game.
Andre Screen, that's the second time this game he's got an offensive rebound. And
just keep playing.
Richmond with a dime to edge of 4. Shot clock at 10. Richmond's there again. Kadari Richmond is scalding.
November, it's just been out of this world.
Floyd lines up the 3, in and out. There's a tip for the freshman Osman Arunse, making his set. Joseph there to pick up the loose ball. Mila, the take, high off the glass. Arunse the follow.
We saw that in the first half a few times when
Sorber's underneath. Ball was just a touch off with the pass.
Dixon drives to the rim. Loose ball swiped at. Villanova comes away with an
Have to be active and communicate.
Richmond downstairs to Lewis. Lewis cannot hit. This drought continues. St. John's 0 for 0. Richmond, right hand, call it a pass. Iwuchukwu cannot hit.
Iwuchukwu's got to go up and dunk that ball, especially with Sorber.
Glover. He's long. Iwuchukwu can't stick it back. Tipped.
Oh, what a fight by Curtis Williams. That was so good.
Trying to find a way to get Peavy going.
Yeah.
Caravan. Johnson tries to follow. It's out of bounds. Off of Stewart from downtown. Off the heel. Johnson the rebound. Sorber the rejection. And the foul underneath.
They're staying on Dan Jones.
Norman, what a spin, hang and miss. Red forehand put back, poked out of bounds. This is a physical.
You know, the other thing that makes this zone, that's a tough shot too. The other thing that makes that zone so good, John, is you got Burks and Williams. Those guys are long. I mean, look at
great defense there.
Fremantle the drive. Fremantle short arms to finish. Fremantle to try and put it up, and a foul right before the shot clock goes off. They're on the drive to the cup. Can't get it. Rebound. Fremantle. Fremantle down low, trying to go over Sorber, and the freshman stands tall, ball knocked.
From the viewers at home, Coppin State being down this much, and they're still fighting and scrapping and clawing, going for steals, going for rebounds. I mean, this is what basketball is about, not playing the score.
Get Coleman with 2. Coleman from the elbow. Offensive rebound, Jenkins. And Shaheen Holloway thought Sorber might have gotten him. Felton. Gliding to me, couldn't. Shot clock did reset, and 1 for Felton. Coleman drives. Coleman, some contact. Scramble for it. Shot clock's at 6.
The mark from 3. Cup transition. Lampkin's there to clean it up. Lampkin will score. Nice job following the play by Eddie Lampkin.
He fractured his left ankle. He'll be out for the foreseeable future. Offensive rebound again. Putback goes. Nice job by Sincere.
In double figures, he has 9. Up and under. Adunwo tries to tip in the miss.
Damon Strand seeing extra time today. He's only averaged 6 minutes a game. Off his miss, the putback won't fall, and the rebound down for Fielder tonight. Now you got a steal. Drive won't go, but the tip follow will, as Neely's hit his last 5 shots.
Rewrite it twice, if you will. Here's Fitch, nice ball fake. Xavier Fitch misses the bunny. Still battling. This is why he's playing as a...
He gets it back. Pulls up. That missed iron, but the putback. Oh, and it still goes in. Sorber got a piece of it. Epps with 22 in the lane. Taken away by Sorber. Rosenberger denied.
Sorber.
Off the pull-up. Second try, Pacheco.
Sweet 16 experience he brings to this roster coming over from Princeton. Here's Burden with 10. Burden just weaving. Offensive.
Clock down to 5. Rogan fading away. Got it on the rim, couldn't get it to fall. They get the rebound and a block. And now a third try. That talented a young man couldn't make that play.
But again, really good look off the timeout by Coach Cooley, designing something that really got the ball.
Gillis. Rebounded by Alvey off the deflection, and he'll slam it down. Time running out.
His hands on his hips. Now he gestures. 6 to shoot for Isaiah Coleman, Seton Hall's leading scorer, and he drops that one in. 14 points.
So patient on that last play. Swain with Sorber stepping over. Pivoted around the shot blocker. It's down to 7 to shoot. Conwell. No space there. Attack Sorber. Conwell blocked by Sorber, who saves it. Maddox stays it.
9 boards for Peavy. Bizjack too strong on the 3. Tapped around. It goes.
Assistance to Leek Brown, former UConn. Great working him out. Looked really, really good.
Glover.
But other guys are getting an opportunity at minutes, Glover.
For Georgetown. Mila yet to get going this afternoon. And there's Sorber with his second block.
And if you're Providence, look, you got to play with a little bit more pace. I love that from Jaden Pierre. Find your space.
Floyd driving, looking to kick, walled up. Joseph knocked away. A little out of control.
Yeah, probably should have taken. You know, if you want to be boring, then yeah, we'll just call it ambidextrous.
Pierre starting his drive, and he took steps. He saw here 45-44. An 8-0 run for the Hoyas. Mila blocked. Sorber another one. Hart, but he misfires from 3, and it's still a 1-point Nova lead.
Still waiting to see how they get their shots off.
Longino off the mark. Skying in is Boachi.
Neptune has to save him, especially under 3 minutes now for the second half.
Dixon calls his own number.
Well, that was.
Boachi sets the pick. Longino too strong from 3. And the rebound secured.
Basketball at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
I bet.
They would not have let that go. Nice pull up.
Longino short. Pop back out by Brickus.
Baseline entry. Offense and defense. Jones. Oh, that purposeful pause.
Well, that time Sorber was on.
Led by Burks.
And they're sticking with this man-to-man. They switch there. Cam Jones goes by Sorber.
And 1.
Harrison. Done a nice job on the offensive end so far. Shot clock running down. Really nowhere to go as Sorber gets his.
Want to be who we are, but the only thing that we can control is our effort, and we're going to do that each and every night we step out.
Tremendous drive by Naduzzi, who is.
I know, man. Villanova came down, scooped up a couple guys, but I mean, Coach John Thompson III and Mark Turgeon, who was at Maryland at the time.
Here's Dual with 10. Dual with 8. Hadn't made his move until 6. Now Dual goes in. 15 for Sorber. Adewusu pulls.
That's a nice job. I think slowing the pace down, Seton Hall throwing that full court pressure on has really helped.
Coleman with a tough shot.
Yeah, really tough.
Into the hands of Jenkins. Into the hands of Adewusu with 7. Adewusu with 5. Adewusu with 3. Adewusu pulls it out.
He is there, but the walk to is not always. That's just a straight line drive with no help.
Eddie Lampkin gets a roll to score.
And the ball. like driving the basketball. I think they've settled for a few of these threes early in this game.
Carlos with a wedgie. This is a lot of time spent on that thing you're mentioning. Transition defense gave up 85 to Albany in a win on Tuesday.
Now DeBreeze looking to tie or take the lead. It's way off the mark.
Coming our way briefly. By the way, when that happens today, I'm going to let you take it. Now you got
second half, getting him going a little bit, getting him some dunks, getting his stats up a little bit is going to go a long way for his confidence.
Here's Ascara stepping out. Fielder tips the rebound to Sorber.
When you out there on the basketball court.
Wanted Pierre Brooks to get the ball. He's got it here. Drives on Sorber. Had him fly over the top and finished anyway.
Look at that beautiful basketball.
They're going to compete regardless.
They sure are, although a 30-point loss for Seton Hall in their last game against Butler.
First half up to 13 after that jam. And now Xavier with Davion McKnight back on the floor. Their point guard had 2 fouls in the first half. Can't hit to start the second.
Peavy pestering Telfort. Screen bodies against Sorber, stripped away. Catch and shoot for Peavy, and St. John's may have gotten a piece of that as Richmond corrals. Kadari Richmond getting down.
5 to shoot. Mila, ball fake. Time winding down. Mila with the left hand. No.
It's different when you send him to his left.
The shot clock is. That's all shooters have to know where they are in the clock.
Ejiofor takes on Sorber. He's fouled by Sorber. That's his second.
Georgetown now 1 for their last 8. Conwell's been very, very quiet. They've done a tremendous job of him. As soon as I say that,
right on cue, my friend. So
Watching how to defend a dribble handoff, you tell your defender to run through the screen if the person isn't set, and you'll be rewarded with a moving screen every single time.
Well, Thomas.
Again, the Hoyas with the suffocating defense. They got Copper State down here at the end of the shot clock. Playing defense without foul.
You know, you got to give the Hoyas credit. Their half-court defense has been really
no doubt
good.
Neal has it blocked away. They get it back.
Slowly but surely under Ed Cooley. This would be a significant win even if these teams are down. Freeman, that is smothered by Sorber.
I'm off for my teammate as he finished above the basket.
Banks working on Sorber, and then Sorber picks up the...
Nearly pretty spin move on the drop step. He's the America East Rookie of the 20 points of their 26 in the paint for the Hoyas. And Marshall is playing.
Dangerous team to play.
They're going to need that level of sharing the scoring and sharing the basketball. The Big East portion of the points
tonight.
Those are no easy feats, Guy. You know that.
Oh, it's tough to score 1,000 points in college. It don't matter 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. It's hard.
Cordelia.
Getting coached by his dad, Trey Sr. He's a coach's son.
I love the fact that Micah Shrewsbury, you know, twice.
Higgins blows by the freshman Sorber and lays it off the window. Clock under 10. Step back for Higgins.